Welcome to a special edition of the Corner Store Podcast. I am your host, OMD, Dex 300, aka Doc Savage, the Man of Bronze. This is a special edition of the Corner Store Podcast. Thank you guys. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the podcast. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for being here. This is a special edition episode. Normally the episodes are Tuesday and Thursday, normally in the mornings. But this is a special episode over the weekend. Something happened that is not unprecedented in the United States of America. Unfortunately, it's not unprecedented. An assassination attempt was tried on former 45th President Donald J. Trump. He survived said assassination and was scurried off of stage at a rally in a small town, small Midwestern town or southern town, I'm not sure, where he was grazed in the ear by the bullet, and also the assassinator, I should say, the attempted assassination person was killed on scene. Once again, I'll just say this is unprecedented. Unprecedented. Well, it's not unprecedented. I'm sorry. I'm really kind of at odds with what I want to say today. And that's the reason why I'm kind of stumbling with my words this morning, which is something I don't normally do. Let's just go down the line. John Wilkes Booth killed Lincoln. This was back in the 1800s, late 1800s, early 1900s. And it is not uncommon, or it hasn't been uncommon, to have leaders of this country, civil rights leaders, political officials, attacked or thereby subsequently murdered for their stance on something or trying to, in their words, better the country or change the way the country's been. I guess you can say, in a sense, this gentleman, Donald Trump, the president, the 45th elected president, was trying to do something similar than all the other presidents had done, which is make some type of changes in their eyes to the betterment of the United States of America. We all know Donald Trump was convicted of 34 felonies. We all know he was convicted of sexual assault. We all know that he's got business issues as far as bankruptcies and judgments, millions and millions of dollars of judgments for making false claims about election machinery and all different types of things. He's also, from what they've said, attempted to corrupt public officials into changing votes for him so he could be reelected. All kind of crazy things that have not only been accused of this person, but he's been convicted of it. There's never been this. I will say this: it's unprecedented that it's never been a president that was convicted of a crime and actually got an opportunity to run for the largest office in this country, the largest political office in this country. And the only reason why I'm having this is a special episode just about the Trump assassination. So if you ain't trying to hear that or talk about it or even hear my opinion on it, because that's really what this is all about, is my opinion on the subject, and most people, they'll say, oh, well, you don't have a journalism degree, you're not a politician. We all have opinions. I don't care if you're a journalist or a politician, an actor, or just some run-of-the-mill dude. Everybody who's saying anything about this, it's their opinion. So I have a podcast, I have a YouTube channel, I have over 10,000 subscribers, and I'm going to say what I feel about the situation. I'm going to give you my opinion on it, and here it goes. If you watch that video, and I watched it several times, I'm not going to even rehash it. And like I've always said before about my podcast, which I only shoot very primitively in some people's eyes, probably not in everybody's eyes. Probably everybody who does a podcast, probably 70, 60, or 70% of us shoot it the way I do. And then you have other people who have uh, video switchers and things like that, which I have, but I'm getting used to working with and about to be, proficient at it, given time. And with those additions, with different cameras, you can switch to different cameras, and you can also do picture in picture on your computer to show video. And I could be showing you evidence of what I'm trying to say and what I'm about to say about the video of the assassination attempt. I said this. I said this when it was happening. And my girlfriend, shout out Sonia Ingersoll, attest to this. As soon as I saw that, I'm telling you, without all the other people who have been saying this, because people are not dumb. That's the thing that people don't want to understand is you could try to do all this crazy shit if you want to and get the sympathy vote, because that's exactly what I think he's trying to do. I don't know if he's been checking the polls. I don't know any, because to be honest with you, I don't vote anymore. I stopped voting a couple of election cycles ago when Biden won the office. He had the Senate, he had the Congress. There was two senators or congressmen, I forget which side it was, that were Democrats that was holding up all of Joe Biden's agendas. Whether those Democratic senators or congressmen, which I forget which ones they were being influenced by the right side, the Republicans, to block all of Joe Biden's agendas. I don't know, and we'll never know, because that part of it we don't see, and we can't never know about what's going on with that because it's closed door and it's all that. It's a lot of bureaucracy going on in the government. Well, I voted to have Warnock, Senator Warnock, and that other gentleman in Georgia to get those seats, and Biden begged us for those seats, and he said he would be able to push Democratic agendas through. Well, guess what? In the 4 years that he had the majority in everything, he didn't do anything. He even had the option to filibuster, which is Kamala Harris being the deciding vote to oppose any, votes that was like, if there was one or two, or there was one vote that was against whatever they were trying to do, she could come in and veto that vote and, be the overriding vote. He never used the filibuster, not one time. So as far as politics in general, I'm not down with it anymore. On the local level, none of it. None of it. All of it's crooked. All of it is crooked as a barrel of snakes. You put a barrel of snakes in there, what are they going to do? They're going to bend up together. There's nothing straight going on in that barrel. And I believe that's the same. Trump ran before on cleaning the swamp. You can't clean the swamp if there's 20, 30-foot alligators in there. How you going to clean the swamp when you can't even get in the water because you might get bit off or bit in half, paused? So as far as this assassination attempt goes, whether it was real or fake, let me get that out first. Whether it was real or fake, because to me it seems super fake. I've never seen, I don't care what they're trying to create a narrative that he's some tough guy. He gets shot or he pops his blood bag on his ear. Why would you aim for his ear? You're trying to say some 17-year-old kid with glasses decided he scale a wall with, mind you, with hundreds of cops, security detail, a secret service, They don't. Let me tell you something. I'm ex-military. For those who didn't know that, I used to be in the military, in the army. I was in the army from '87 to 1990. And I'm here to tell you right now, if we moved the lieutenant around, even though he might have a driver or whatever, it was at peacetime, obviously. But if they needed protection, they would square away that situation wherever it was. Change of command, like a general's leave or something. Normally, we wouldn't have to protect them anyway because they ain't in no harm's way. I was in the military though when the wall was up over in Germany or in the Eastern Europe was pretty much dominated by the Soviet Union. So a lot of times we used to have to be really careful when we were driving along the border or anything like that. But I don't think any of the generals or anything needed security. But if need be, and they needed to square away an area that we were going to have somebody there of importance, every stone would be unturned. So now we're talking about the former, not the president, the former president of the United States, which gets a Secret Service detail for the rest of their life. If Trump wasn't even fucking running, he would have a secret agent detail or a secret agent, a Secret Service detail following him for the rest of his days until they were relieved of duty. Any event, speaking engagement, I don't give a shit what it is, former or current president, they are going to vet that building. They're going to vet that area. They're going to check out area. They're going to find out if there's criminals that have something against the president, even living around the area where he's going to be speaking. I'm telling you, it's gone through with a fine-tooth comb. Why would it not be that way in this situation? Why would they not have every corner? How you going to have snipers on one roof and not snipers on the roof where the sniper was? It makes no absolute sense. Now, the funny thing is, everybody who's really, really smart enough to recognize bullshit when they see it is calling it for what it is. Now, how much do you think on the other side of this, people who are really under the spell of this guy, believes that this was fake? You'd be surprised. There's some people. I got a friend, and I don't know if he's on this live today. I don't know if he's here. He's a good friend of mine. He actually lives overseas. Uh, he lives overseas for a lot of reasons, and one of the best reasons is you just can't afford to live in the U.S. anymore. I mean, he makes a decent living, but he decided he wanted to live in Asia, in the eastern part of the world, and that's all well and good. But I noticed, and he's ex-military too, by the way, and as gung ho as they come. I never knew he was as gung ho as he was for being in the service. Proud, and I could say this unequivocally, whether he agrees with this or not, but him having been under fire, been in fire bases in Afghanistan and things of that nature, and probably been around spec forces and different cats. Me having been in the military, I have had my weapon loaded before, but we were in a peacetime mission, even though I was in a peacetime, wartime unit, meaning we did border duty, all that. There was always a chance for it to go down as far as war was concerned, but either side didn't want to really do shit. But then there's countries like Afghanistan and Libya and Iraq where, it's been real fighting going down, and, it's hand to hand, small arms, the whole 9 yards, kicking in doors. That's the kind of shit dude was doing. So with that said, he made it out of there. So I can understand him being gung ho about this country. I made the mistake of saying something about Caucasian people as a whole, and he's not Caucasian. He's African American. He's black. I shouldn't even say African American. He's a black man. But he was so distraught about my words that he got emotional about a white gentleman that was a friend of his who got, killed by the Taliban. He was saving other people and everything. Nobody want to talk about, bro. Wasn't saying nothing about him. I was talking about inherent spirit of a certain race of people. Seems like it's a little tainted by dark things. That was all I said. But, he took it and ran with it, and that's all good. Now, this particular dude, you would think that doesn't live in this country because of the reason the country has gotten so expensive. And there's a lot that has a lot to do with how things are ran in the government, as well as how businesses have just taken You know, you can't give the CEO of Boeing $32 million and think that's okay. I don't care what company, I don't care if that company makes $1 trillion a year. That dude don't deserve $32 million. That one guy. I don't care how many planes they have. I don't care how many employees. Hell, they don't even have that many employees because they lay off everybody just to pay this motherfucker. That's the country that we live in, and that's one of the reasons why, I'm talking to my homeboy. That's why you don't live in America anymore, because you understand what's going on here. With all that said about the bureaucracy and how things are here, let's get back to the fact that Trump ain't the best guy in the world, and he's proved that he won't really rock with people with our color. That's just from what I can see. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody got to pee on me and telling me it's raining. I know you pissing on me. I'm not going to be sitting there talking, oh, it's raining. No, I'm not done like that. So, but I also know on the other side, Joe Biden, he don't fuck with us either. He may say that now and all that. People giving him a pass for past words and past deeds. But see, these one thing I'll tell you about politicians, let alone people in general, people gonna get down and do what they do, and or for whatever reason and whatever side they need to be on in order to keep their money going. So what I mean when I say that is, it's very few people stand on business. Like if there's a white, I'll tell you who stood on business. There was a gentleman who is not in the history books. He was a white dude, an abolitionist who wanted racism to stop. I just saw a video on him. I should have wrote this down because I thought it was very prevalent. You got generals who were on the other side, who were Confederate generals, Robert E. Lee, and all these old generals. You know what I'm saying? That was Confederates. They got schools named after them, knowing that they fought against America. They have schools named after these people. But the abolitionist white dude who fought and died to see racism stop in this country doesn't have there's no school named after him, nothing. A white professor at Princeton did a study on this and said, and I quote, the Princeton professor said, there's no reason for white people to ever want to celebrate the fact that they did terrible things in this country. Not celebrate it, but acknowledge it or face it. They rather say pridefully that the rebel flag that was waved is a symbol of the South's resolve and wanting to be its own and all these other things in the heritage and pride and the whole shebang. It's a sad case of affairs when you got people using that platform to say this is the reason why they wave that flag and all this other stuff. This country does not, and I repeat, and will not, does not and will not acknowledge the fact that racism was wrong. You want black people will not get their 40 acres and a mule, which would be very, very small pick and tell. They can give you 40 acres in the middle of the Mojave Desert and say they gave you the land, but they won't even do that. So forget about all that. And that's why I've always said on Corner Store Podcast, find your own love interest in life, meaning find something that you love to do. If you broke and you just going from check to check, keep that job and try doing something you love until you can monetize it. And then just blow that shit up. Because really, the pursuit of money is the thing here in the U.S. Now, if you one of them people like, I don't care, money don't rule me and da-da-da-da-da, and I'm cool where I am, great. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. Because really, the happiest people in the world are the people that are cool where they are in life. If you're not happy with where you are in life, you know you're depressed and you be angry and you want to do better, you want to see better, and you just strive for better. You can't think about nothing else but being better. That's cool. But then there's a lot of people out there that are cool and content with where they are. I ain't talking to you. I'm talking to those who think that the country and who's president and all this other stuff determines their victory in this world. I'm gonna tell you right now, that's a lie. Don't think that anything could stop you. Somebody physically try to grab you, kill you, stab you, and stop you from doing what you're doing, that's different. They can put all the legal roadblocks up they want and red line neighborhoods and do all of this bullshit, but that ain't long as you are breathing. long as there is a most high God in the world and you have a taste for victory, you could do well here. And all of the stuff that's going on around you, you just be like, man, whatever. Because a lot of people say, well, you better vote 2020. I guarantee you, if Trump wins and the 2020 project or 2025 project is enacted and they start doing all the things they say, you know, goddamn well that shit ain't gonna fly. Anybody gonna stand for that? There's gonna be a lot of people dropping. And when I mean dropping, I'm talking about dying, because ain't nobody finna be ruled by no dictator in no US. Ain't no fucking way. That's laughable. Nobody's going for that. Not in the least. So that part of it, just keep rocking, doing what you're doing, and keep trying to get to the top. But as far as the assassination attempt goes, as Das Effects said back on their song back in the day in the 90s, they want effects. Hardy, hard. Not happening. What you're not finna do is put some guy in there that's a puppet while all these people behind him pulling strings talk about, oh, well, blacks are gonna live here. These federal employees are getting fired because they don't like such and such. You're not doing that, bro. Ain't nobody gonna go down for that shit. So this veiled attempt, and I'll say it, I don't care who sees this video, why, nothing. This veiled attempt to make us believe that people want you dead so bad, and it turns out the boy is a Republican. He's a registered Republican. The Republican side is going to spin this as it's a Democratic thing, and they've already started. They said Joe Biden had a speech, and he gave out a code word saying that Trump's in the bullseye, and that was the code word to have him killed at the rally. Conspiracy theories is one thing, and I'm sure folks are going to say, what you're saying is a conspiracy theory, that it's other. Bro, all you got to do is look at the evidence. I don't care who you are. There was a guy at the rally talking about there's sons of bitches. It was Obama. Why are y'all stuck on Obama? That bothered you motherfuckers that much that a black man sat in that chair and did a damn good job? I don't know too many people could have been a president, and every turn he tried to do something, they said, nope, we ain't gonna do that. Nope, we ain't gonna do that. And he still had a decent presidency. It was decent. The only reason it could have been more than decent is because people was working against the dude. Do I love him? No. Could he have done more for blacks? Yes. But he also got to give him a pass because that's one of the most horrific offices in the world to have as a black man. That shit aged that brother. If you notice, I know everybody ages, they get gray, all that. But you get gray a lot faster when you're under a lot of fucking pressure. But he wore it like a trooper. He always walked down around pimping and looking smooth, acting like a true brother. Married a sister, got 2 black daughters. They keep calling her a man. That's all kind of. This country is fucking nuts. So if you want to get into that political arena and start sparring, what happened to the fucking days when telling people who you voted for was sacred? That's what this country was built on. Nobody used to talk. Like, you could go to a rally and motherfuckers will see you like Harry Truman, or they'll see you like Roosevelt, and then you go home, or you represent with a button or some bullshit like that on election day. But 9 times out of 10, the vote was sacred, just like the separation of church and state was separate. Nowadays, they're trying to put who they claim to be Jesus, this white dude with blue eyes, in the classroom looking down at you like this. And you're supposed to have a prayer every month. This country's losing its mind. You got to separate. What they keep saying is, oh, if we don't put this stuff back in school, we're going to have a bunch of transvestite kids running around here. You know what pushed kids to be trans testicles and all these different things? Keep trying to force them under your bullshit rhetoric. Some people love God, some people don't. Let the chips fall where they may. You can't force nobody to believe what you believe. It's fucking idiotic. Ain't nobody going for that. The best thing you can do if you're a true believer in God is to pray for the people you don't believe is investing their time with the Most High. Instead of, we're going to force you to love. No, what you're going to do is you're going to make a whole bunch of people fucking hate you. There's a whole bunch of Americans out here hate the right. There's a whole bunch of Americans out here who hate the left. There's no reason for it. And there's a whole bunch of people at the top who like to mix this bowl up, putting cherries in the same bowl with let me see what would be terrible to put with cherries in the same bowl. Like some just off-brand ass bullshit, cherries in granola or some stupid shit. You know what I'm saying? Something that just does not mix. When in actuality, all Americans are all Americans. But when you're at the top and you're the top 3% of what this country is, as well as the world, you may want an agenda where all of the damn people in the country hate each other. That might be something you want. That might be something you want. Sad, man. I did this episode for a couple reasons. One, I was going to talk about it when it happened. Everybody jumped on. Everybody was on TikTok and YouTube. They was going crazy when it happened. It then died down a little bit already because people are starting to see. The veil is being lifted. You can't play these games with the American people, especially an American people that are at their wits' end with how things are going in this country. When you got a motherfucker that's a felon running for the presidency, you might as well let Tookie, God rest his soul, or Monster Cody run for fucking president. I know they from LA. I don't despise those dudes as much as dirt they did in California. Cause see the dirt that you see that they've done. If only you knew the dirt that people like Halliburton or Black Bar or all these different companies around the world, the shit that they've done. There's no gangster in the United States, black, Mexican, whatever, can ever top a country that would put syphilis in people and tell them it was a medicine just to see how it would affect them. That's the Tuskegee experiments for those who don't know. They did that from the 1960s all the way to the 1940s. I'm sorry, all the way to the 1970s. They was testing black people, black men, which they were purposely putting syphilis in them and telling them it was something else to see how it affect them. Go look it up. And you're going to sit here and tell me that Monster Cody or any of these people are, hell, for that reason, Ted Bundy and that guy Gacy, these goddamn serial killers, horrible people, killed hundreds of people, women, and buried them and doing all kind of shit. Guess what? Trump is worse than that. Trump caused hundreds of thousands of deaths during the pandemic, telling people, take your mask off. This shit is bullshit. This is fake. Drink bleach. Do all these different things. And no one said nothing. I said back then, I said it on, go look at my previous podcast during the pandemic. I said back then, bro should be in jail for mass murder. He should. But once again, we live in a country where when you're losing or have lost an election, you can say, I didn't lose, and stir up a large mass of people to attack our, political institutions. That's okay. Like I'm getting back to my homeboy who was going off on people. So much so he was spitting slob out of his mouth. He was spitting slob out of his mouth. He was so angry. Hell, he was so angry with me when I made the mistake of saying, and he's black, brother, and I know I have white friends, quite a few, cool as shit. So it ain't got nothing to do with race. It got everything to do with who like you and who don't. And from what you can see from past deeds as well as present deeds of a certain race, if they are dark, if they do move in dark, everybody move darkly. There's a lot of evil motherfuckers of all races. But to me, it seems like that particular race moves a little darker. And I ain't trying to talk about nobody all the way or nothing. That's my opinion. Everybody got them. Opinions like a-holes. You take a shit, you got an asshole, hopefully. But I'm of the fact that he was just, and I think that has a lot to do with him being ex-military. I'm ex-military too, and I'm gonna tell you right now, fuck conspiracy theories. There's a lot of this stuff is facts, and it just saddens me. It saddens me, man. It makes me very sad. Let me check this live. I don't even know if anybody on the live. Oh, I ain't see nobody on the chat. I think it's one person watching at the moment, but and I'm glad that you guys, that somebody's in here with me. Let me articulate how I feel about this. It's just one of them things, man. I have guests coming up too this week, by the way. This Friday on the Corner Show special Friday episode, we got DJ Roddy coming in from Lancaster, California. He's the official DJ for Corner Store Television and Corner Store Podcast. He's gonna be doing some showcases. I'm gonna be doing some showcases for some artists, local artists soon. We still got that in the works. I have something coming up in Ventura, Oxnard area. Shout out to Rare Breed out in the 805. They're having a big event August the 3rd with nothing but podcasters and musicians and artists and everything. Is going to be, vendor event. It's going to be really, really nice. So shout out to them. Shout out to all the pods I've worked on, from the Ventura podcast to the Real Quick Though podcast with Julius Frierson. Shout out to the Tony Television Pod downtown LA. Shout out to all the artists that have been on the Corner Store podcast. Cast from Trizzy Bands, KT Hustle Jr., Christina, Jada Bull, who else? Lipio, friggin' so many people. We got Jazzy from the Valley coming in. She's supposed to be coming in on Thursday. There's a possibility she'll be here on Thursday. We got Bernie Galane. Now, a lot of people don't know who Bernie Galane is. Let me tell you, give you a little background on Bernie. He's an Austrian gentleman who, if you look up Galane drums, Galane, that's Galane, Galane drums. He's the guy that created Galane drum sets, the cymbals, kicks, all that. He's a drummer. He's been drumming since he was like 5 some years old. He's also an actor. He's also a painter. He's been nominated this year for Art Market magazine New Artist of the Year. So that's great. That's on the 26th of this month. So yeah, I got a lot going on, and it's greatly appreciated. As you can see, we got the hot seats. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna put everybody in the hot seat. You're gonna get to tell us what's going on with you and everything. He's also a friend of Arnold Schwarzenegger's. And we talked about that last time he was on the show. So shout out to everybody who's been on the podcast. We had 10,600 and something odd subscribers. Super, super blessed to have gotten this far. It's been a couple years, running, and we're going to keep doing what we're doing. And I had to get on here and talk about this today because I hadn't had a chance to chop it up about what happened. And like I said, I actually believe that Donald Trump is full of ish. The people around him is full of ish. And I don't believe that this really, it looks like what it is, but I don't believe it is what it is. And I'll say that to the last breath. And believe me, if it was assassination attempt and they was really trying to get bro, and it was look legitimate, I'd be like, damn, that's messed up. Even he don't deserve to be killed, jailed maybe, but killed nah. You know what I'm saying? He don't deserve that. That's the reason why I knew it was BS when he started pumping his fist. He ain't that tough. I promise you. You remember a couple of years ago when he was talking shit about El Chapo and he did that rally in that aircraft hangar, and somebody turned that Mexican music on. He damn near shitted on himself. He probably did, from what I understand. He wear diapers and he be boo-booing from what they say. So if they're gonna talk about Michelle Obama as a man, I could talk about his supposed conspiracy theory that he wears diapers and he be boo-booing on himself. People close to him have came out and said that. And so a lot of people are like, oh, they're just saying that because they got fired. And why? Why would you say somebody doodle on himself? It's not helping your cause. I don't get that. That's a whole nother issue. Anyway, be that as it may, Donald Trump, I don't know if you're going to win or not. You certainly, Biden or you are certainly not going to get my vote. And a lot of people see this video and say, well, whoever wins, depending on what it is, whatever happens after that, you're to blame because you didn't vote. I don't give a fuck. That shit ain't going to make me or break me. It's not. Especially now. I'm wise enough to know and I've been around enough to know now that all of this shit is fake. It's all smoke and mirrors. It's all full of shit. And oh yeah, by the way, Aries Spears, I know you ain't going to give two fucks about what I'm about to say. I actually was going to have you on my podcast. We was talking about it. I got, if you know, if you came out and was like, I don't even know who this guy is. Who the fuck you in your garage? And you can't come up with $500. You broke. And you might even say some shit like that. Guess what, my nigga? That wouldn't hurt me. You know what I'm saying? You don't want, man, get the fuck out of here. But anyway, he got on his soapbox the other day and was saying, all you people talking about conspiracy theories, it was fake, it was fake. If it comes out that this nigga faked this, what you gonna say then? I'm talking to Aries Spears, comedian Aries Spears. What are you gonna say then when it's found out that this is fake? You of all people know about acting, improvisation, all that. That shit didn't look fishy to you, bro. That shit didn't look fishy to you. Keep it a band. If you say that shit was what it was, you as dumb as I thought you was, and you deserve the three-piece that dude gave you on 5150. Yeah, I said that shit. And I was trying to really fuck with you and have you on the show. I had the money you was talking about. But I'm not sending nobody no $500 straight out my pocket, and then they don't show up, nigga. We's gonna go half and half. Instead, what you did is you fucked with my homeboy Tony from Tony TV. And Tony, that shit was foul, by the way. You know what I'm saying? I offered to do half of the money and all that shit. I guess you thought you knew who I was and how much money a nigga had in his pocket. But it's all good. And you went on ahead and you had him on the show, and it didn't do nothing. It didn't do no numbers. No numbers at all. You know what I'm saying? When you do shady shit, that's the kind of shit happen. I know you, if you see this, you probably gonna be like, man, I don't give a fuck, nigga, fuck you, and all that shit, nigga. I'm still doing me, and I'm from New York, and I'm this and that and the third. And I'm sound like I'm saying some hateful shit, but I'm not, because I'm really cool with you. You helped me get my shit popping. You helped me get the wherewithal to get this channel even going. Be on your channel doing my show. And I'll never, ever fucking take that from you. But it's just like anything else. Niggas gonna do what they gonna do. I don't hate you, dislike you, nothing. I just think it was fucking shady because you had the bread or you got it from. I don't know why you got the fucking money. I don't know what you really do, whatever. But you went on ahead and you did that shit, which I thought was fucked up. And also, as far as you, I got switches, all that. You ain't never reached out one time to say, I'll come help you get your video shit locked in. None of that shit. None of that shit. And that's all well and good too. I guess when it really comes down to it, you got to do what you got to do for you anyway. And whatever anybody blessed you with or gave you an opportunity to do, you just take it for what it's worth. It was a blessing at that time. Shit changed, you move the fuck on. Because God, like, man, whatever, man, you ain't got time. I got this. Your plans I got for you is for you only. Fuck all that other shit. Anybody help you along the way, you know what I'm saying, is you know, a blessing. So I'm gonna just leave it like that. But yeah, Aries Spears, whatever, bro. And no, I don't watch the Spears and Steinberg or whatever that nigga that you fuck with. And if you notice, I'm putting it out there right now. I notice that everybody in the business has a cool Jewish friend. Noriega, because I know that cat that he worked with on Drink Champs, that's a Jewish dude. I know it. If he ain't, he's a Jewish Italian or something. Aries Spears. Cameron even mentioned his Shapiro or his lawyer, whatever. I'm putting it out there right now. I need my Jewish homeboy. I need my Jewish homeboy. or home girl. It don't matter. I need that connection to the industry. You know what I'm saying? So we can further our interest in corner store television. You know, one day this is actually going to be a TV channel. Yeah, I said it. I put it out there. I've been talking to God about it. I want this to act corner store. Hell, they can, I don't see why it bounces out. You got Bounce Out. You got Get TV. You got all of these fucking networks. Even though they small, they making money because they got advertising on it. I'm putting it out there right now in Yao Mei's name. This will be a television station one day. Maybe I might not even be here. I might pass trying to make this shit happen. But Corner Store Television will become a network. Small, maybe network, just like anything else starting off. Hell, New Line Cinema was bullshit when they first started off. Now them motherfuckers got Oscars sitting up in their office now. Lord of the Rings, all kinds of shit. They start off doing movies like Nightmare on Elm Street. So, you know what I'm saying? It's all perspective. You know what I'm saying? If you don't believe this shit will happen, it won't happen. You know what I'm saying? And also, since we're on the subject, if you believe that somebody could get shot in the ear by an assailant that crawls on the roof that everybody saw, as well as the police, you're crazy. That's all I'm going to say on that subject. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to be honest with you. Donald Trump, you are a diabolical fucking genius. You're a madman. You are a madman. And whoever's working with you, whoever's putting that battery in your damn back to do all the dastardly things that you do, them some deviant, some sinister, almost demonic ass motherfuckers. They something else. And last but not before I leave, and just to show you what kind of piece of shit Donald Trump is, and he would try some shit like this, is the fact that he came out with them shoes. Everybody remember that, right? That Donald Trump, he said black people like tennis shoes.
Tonight.
He said black people like tennis shoes. He said that. His people that made the shoes, or the people that were spokesmen for the shoes, said like the black people should like these because they like tennis shoes. I'm here to tell you right now that Donald Trump took orders in for those shoes. He took orders in for those shoes, and he never sent any of the shoes. He never sent any of the shoes. Spoken like a true champ, Donald. Yo, it's your boy OMD Dex 300. This has been a special edition of the Corner Store Podcast, y'all. Keep your faith in the Almighty. Work as hard as you possibly can to make your dreams come true. Because believe it or not, nobody else ain't going to help you. And I love you. Believe it or not, I love you. I don't know you, but I love you. And stay 100 at all times. Shout out to my kids, Brandon, Claudia, Drew, their moms. My mom, happy birthday to my mother and one of my kids' moms. And man, keep focused. It's your boy, OMD Dex 300, Corner Store Podcast. Peace.